What is the first thing you should do every time you fish a crankbait? Good morning, guys and girls. July 25. First of all, happy birthday, Jamie. My little boy, Jamie. 50 years old today. That's right. He changes that number to 550, born July 25, 1970. 1970. My goodness, where did those years go? I mean, I can remember so many great fishing trips, great hunting trips. One time, I could just tell you stories all day, and I'm not going to bore you with that. I can remember one time when Chris was fishing a tournament over at Millwood, and I had a meeting or something that I had to do at Bass Pro, and so I couldn't go to the tournament, but she was way up high in the tournament. I think she might have won the thing or got second, but it was on the last day of the tournament, and we didn't have but one vehicle. We didn't have a couple vehicles like we have nowadays, and she had the truck and the boat, and so I got on my motorcycle, and Jamie was about like 4 or 5 years old. I got on my motorcycle and I went all the way from Lake Tenkiller to Millwood, which is like a 5 or 6 hour motorcycle drive. And it was so cool. And I remember him went to sleep. I had him right in front of me on that motorcycle and he was asleep. And I got there and Chris, what are you doing? Look at this baby here. Look at this baby. Look at that. That is sweet. But I remember when I got there, I was so proud. And we had a motorhome back then, and Chris actually had the motorhome. And I can remember I was so proud when I got there because I was going to be so happy. I was going to see Chris win the tournament. She's going to be so happy to see me. She saw me ride up on that motorcycle with that baby, and she nearly killed me. She was so mad. But, hey, I got there safely with him. We put the motorcycle in the motorhome, drove the motorhome home. She didn't win the tournament, so it was kind of a wasted trip. Okay, we're looking at Isaiah 29:18. Isaiah 29:18, the prophet Isaiah. And listen to what he says. At that time, the deaf will hear and the blind will see. The deaf will hear and the blind will see. Oh, my goodness. Underwater rock piles are some of the hottest bass holding structures you can find. Once summertime hits, you can bet bass will start heading for those rocks. And when this lake here went dry, I actually built a big rock pile right out there, another one right up there. And I told my partner, I said, you better GPS those rock piles because when they cover them up, you're not going to be able to find them. And there's bass on them right now, I promise. A great technique to fishing a rock pile is a heavy roller jig that you can bounce off the rock pile. This extra noise really helps the fish hone in on your bait. Another great thing to fish around those rock piles is a crankbait. You want a crankbait that will get down to the rocks, however deep it is, bang that crankbait off the top of that rock. Something clicking or making noise on the top of those rocks. As we get older, our ability to hear, Oh, you look at that look I got from my beautiful wife then. Our ability to hear and see begins to weaken. Now, my eyesight is perfect. 2015 in one eye, 2020 in the other. 2015 is better than 2020, they tell me. Isn't it comforting to know that this regression is only temporary and it'll change in an instant when we die and move on to our eternal reward with Jesus? This old body and these old senses wear out, but God has already designed a heavenly body. You know what? It's a perfect body. Not only for those of us who have used up this old body, like me, but for many whose eyes will see and whose ears will hear for the very first time. Oh my goodness, just think about that. Just think about that. There are people that are born blind. There are people that are born deaf. For the first time ever, they open their eyes. And the first thing they're looking into is the eyes of Jesus. First time ever in their life, they can actually hear. And they hear thousands or tens of thousands of angels singing the most beautiful songs you could ever imagine. Wow, that's exciting. That's just exciting to think about. Excites me a lot. All right, let's look and see what our tip is for this week. We talked about what's the first thing you need to do to a crankbait when you tie it on. Always check to make sure that your crankbait is running straight. Make sure your crankbait is running straight. Very, very critical. What you want to do, you tie that crankbait on, throw that crankbait out there, point your rod tip right at it, point it right down, hold it down, wind pretty fast. Watch your line, make sure it's coming in right straight to your bait. Don't go to the left, don't go to the right, coming in right exactly straight. Wind that. If it's going to the right or going to the left, you're going to need to adjust that crankbait. You're going to need to adjust it. So make sure it's running straight. Very, very important in all crankbait fishing, because if it's running crooked one way or the other, it still might catch fish, but it's not going to get as much depth as it's going to get. Now, I've actually seen people detune crankbaits, like fishing along a bluff. If you're fishing along a bluff, you get in close to a bluff, throw a crankbait out and detune it where it'll run in toward the bluff. So as it's coming in, instead of coming straight back to you, it's going to the left a little bit, or it's going to the right a little bit. Or you throw by a boat dock and you want your crankbait to come in and kind of go under the edge of that boat dock. That can be used too really well. So that's a good situation there. But you want to make sure that your crankbait is running straight. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Happy birthday, Jamie. Listen, Chris has got a birthday coming up the 27th. She will be older before I'll be older. My birthday is the next day, July 28th. Great birthday weekend this weekend. Woo! Can't wait. All right. Happy birthday, Jamie. Happy birthday, Chris, and a couple of birthdays. Happy birthday, mate. Y'all go out there, have you a great one, and remember, I love you.